Hello everyone, and welcome to my video on the 15 study tips for college students. My name is Amy. I have learned a lot about effective studying techniques during my college experience, and I wanted to share them with you today. This video is designed for college students who are looking to improve their study habits and perform better academically. Be sure to check out my website, which is linked at the end. I take a deeper dive into the study tips and provide additional resources. Let's hop into these tips. So our first tip is going to be effective note-taking. Effective note-taking is one of the best things you can do. Color coding your notes is super helpful. This helps organize information in a way that is easy to review. Don't just copy the notes and the slides that you're being given. Make sure to actually write down what the professor is saying about the material, as the slideshow usually only outlines those key points. Make sure to do the readings before class as well and take notes on those, and you can also ask questions for any clarifying points. This way you can take notes on what you read and adding extra insights that the professor may share about them. Our second study tip is going to be reviewing and organizing your notes right after class. Right after class, take some time to organize your notes, write them down in ways that make sense to you, so that when it's time to study, the information is clear and easy to find. This is a great time to add any super important notes to a master study guide and jot down the questions that you may need to clarify later. Our third tip is do not hesitate to ask for help. Your professors are there to assist you. You can email them, ask questions in class. If you're a little hesitant to ask questions in class, always remember that someone else probably has that same question. Don't be afraid to stick around after class and ask for clarification either. Our fourth study tip is creating a master study guide. Creating an overarching study guide is a very easy way to stay organized, and this is something that you can add throughout the semester, and you're not just taking a look at all of this information towards the end when it comes time to the exam. This is a guide where you can collect all important points from your lectures, reading, extra notes that you grabbed from what the professor says, highlight any material that is mentioned will be specifically on the exam. Our fifth study tip is going to create a study schedule. To avoid any last-minute cramming, develop the study schedule and plan out when you're going to study each subject, breaking down into smaller, manageable chunks. This will help you stay on track and significantly reduce stress when it comes time to the exam. Our sixth study tip is going to be your study environment. Your study environment plays a huge role in your productivity. Find a place where you can focus and limit distractions significantly. Turning off your phone and putting it in another room or putting it on Do Not Disturb to stay focused for as long as possible. Our seventh study tip is going to be all about our background noise of our study environment. Some of us study better with background noise. If you find that your mind tends to wander, try listening to instrumental music or even background noise like a cafe or white noise. Classical music or instrumental versions of popular songs can also help you stay in the zone. I have attached my favorite here. If you want to take a look at my website, they're also linked there if you're having any difficulty finding them. Our eighth study tip is going to be your study snacks. Staying fueled with the right snacks is super important. Water is essential, and some of the best foods can include nuts, fruits, dark chocolate. I've added a few pictures here. My personal favorites are nuts and popcorn. These snacks can help boost your concentration and brain function significantly during a long study session. Now heading into our actual study techniques. Once you have all this material laid out and you've taken all of your proper steps to get to this point when it's time to actually study. So mind mapping is our ninth technique. Mind mapping is a great technique if you're a visual learner. Start with the main concept in the center of the page and branch out with related ideas. This technique helps you see the bigger picture and understand relationships between different topics. This is my personal favorite to start my studying. You can easily link stuff together, and it's also creating that recall of trying to link different terms together, what terms and the definitions of them. Our ninth technique is going to be the Protégé Effect. This is when you learn the material more effectively because you are teaching it to someone else. Teaching focuses you on organizing your thoughts and understanding the content better so that you can properly and efficiently explain it to somebody else. This can be done alone, with a friend, parent, group, sibling. I tend to do it with a study partner, and if I don't have my study partner at the time, I try to do a one-on-one session. I set up my mirror and I try to explain each point. Our 11th study tip is going to be the listener system. I break this system down a lot more on my website, but it is essentially a flashcard technique that makes reviewing more effective. It involves sorting cards into boxes based on how well you know them. The more you know a card, the less frequently you have to review it, focusing your time on what needs the most attention, what you're lacking to remember. Our 12th study technique is going to be practicing active recall. Active recall is another very powerful study method. Instead of passively reading your notes, you can actively quiz yourself on the material. This helps strengthen your memory and make studying so much more engaging. It's the most efficient, high-yield learning technique, and most of you have probably already heard it if you're within the college environment. Our 13th technique is going to be our overarching technique that I implement during all of these study sessions, which is the Pomodoro technique. It is a time management tool that breaks your studying session down into intervals. Usually 25 minutes of focused work with a 5-minute break is a great way to maintain productivity and avoid burnout for as long as possible. Our 14th technique is going to be study groups. Study groups can be super helpful, but only after you've individually studied the material on your own. This way you can ask specific questions and fill in the gaps and your understanding with discussing with your peers. I find that going to study groups, not having studied first, it's messy and it can get very confusing. My 15th technique is going to be just simply rest and taking breaks. Don't underestimate the power of sleep and breaks. Make sure you're getting enough sleep and taking regular breaks during study session. Your brain needs that time to absorb and retain any and all information. So that wraps up my 15 study tips for college students. I hope you find these strategies helpful and give them a try during your next study session. Don't forget to visit my website for more study tips and resources. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friend who might need a little more help studying. Thanks for watching.